Este asaron con ide computers.com otro video para ti hoy another computer problemo. Third-party website where I earn supplemental income answering computer technology related questions. Muy rapido. I'll cut to the chase. Hello, I'm having trouble printing. Hewlett-Packard OfficeJet Pro 8720 all-in-one printer. Oh, this was a bit of a mini quagmire. Hewlett-Packard printers can be a fucking pain in the ass to remove. And I documented another error. Here's another error I received when I tried to install on top of each other. And a lot of times with Hewlett-Packard printers, you cannot perform a repair install on them. That option is not even available. Installation error. An error occurred while writing installation information to disk. Check to make sure enough disk space is available and click retry or cancel to end the install. Well, that's a false positive error. That's a lie. That's not true. I verified their hard drive, which was about a terabyte, and I would say around 900 megabytes. Excuse me, 900 gigabytes of that terabyte was free. 90% free, and yet you get these fucking dumb shit errors. All right. And here's the screen capture of the actual error. Now, in a situation like this, I like to just try to install the software on top of itself. The reason why I attempt that is because you can lose settings, and that includes printer settings. So I've learned many moons ago that instead of just wiping, uninstalling, running a PC optimization tool, then reinstalling, well, I like to try to install on top of the existing installation. It doesn't always work. You may get errors like this, but it's worth a shot. Otherwise, you have to go back and reconfigure the printer, reconfigure the fax, and blah, blah. And the end user might have to go in and configure their personal settings for eBay or whatever. And it can turn into a fucking goddamn further nightmare. But I try my best. Click on the link in the description box below that'll take you to my blog post on my website, internetcomputers.com, with the direct link to the driver for this Hewlett-Packard Pro 8720 all-in-one printer. I direct linked. Also, I included a link to my preferred PC optimization tool. Whenever I receive errors similar to this, I then immediately remove the software from Add and Remove Programs, also known as Apps and Features on Windows 10. This video and the blog post was written for Microsoft Windows 10 operating system, but you can certainly use this video and instructions as a basis for other Microsoft operating systems and potentially other Hewlett-Packard printers. Apps and Features, and then scroll down until you find the printer software. I do have HP printer software, but if you notice, if you click on all these, it does not allow you to perform a repair install, which would be under Modify. So you select the Hewlett-Packard 8720 printer from, you know what I'm saying, Apps and Features, uninstall it, and then run my preferred PC optimization tool, which is linked to in my blog post. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're just watching this video or reading this blog post, then all you have to do is go to the link that I provided for you. One caveat with that link: it should automatically detect what operating system you're using. If it does not correctly detect your operating system, click on the change button on the upper right hand corner. There's a change link. Click on change. Then two drop downs will show up: operating system and version. Pick your operating system, pick the version, then to make it permanent, click on change again, and then you'll get a new download link. Click on the download button, save it to your computer, browse to where you saved this file. Now the full install is quite large, 166 megabytes, but it includes the full suite of HP OfficeJet software, the HP Solution Center, also the scanning tool, and some other what I might consider bloatware or crapware, but some people like that, bloatware and crapware. I digress. Back to this video. So you want to save this executable right here that I have highlighted. Find it, double click it, follow the prompts, hook up your printer when the Hewlett-Packard installation asks you. Here is a gold tip. Do not connect your Hewlett-Packard printer first, because about 99.9% of the time, you have to install the software first, and then when prompted, you hook up the printer. If you hook up the printer first, then microcrap, microship, microslop windblows will load a Microsoft driver, and then when you do run the software install from Hewlett-Packard, it wants to install its own driver, but it can detect that the printer's already detected, and then that'll fuck it up, and it might not even, the install might blow up there, or it might not properly install its own driver, and it can cause major chaos. Now, this install was wireless, so I knew the IP address. I typed in the IP address when the Hewlett-Packard install prompted me to connect the printer, either physically with a universal serial bus cable or remote, a network type. I gave the IP address. I was able to ping that IP address beforehand. Boom, the Hewlett-Packard printer install found the printer, and then there was two remaining issues. Here's another tip. To save you time and headache, do not remove any printers yet from printers and scanners. Printers and scanners. If you notice, I have a HP OfficeJet 7400. Hewlett-Packard software kind of sucks at times, and Windows 10 kind of sucks at times. Now, my printer driver and device manager has a yellow exclamation point claiming that the driver is missing, but the printer still works. I've noticed over the last few months that every time I install a Microsoft Windows 10 update, it fucks up my printer driver. Now I can't even reinstall the printer driver. But for whatever reason, I'm still able to print to that printer. So, you know what I'm saying? Do not delete any printers yet from here. You know why? Because if you delete it, guess what? If you delete it, you removed all the printer properties, like this, like the IP address. See? And the port, and the type of port. You may have forgotten what kind of port you created to print to this printer, wirelessly or over the network or however. Well, if you delete the printer from printers and scanners, well, then you lost all that information that you could use. So here's a tip. Don't delete the printer out of here when you reinstall your printer. When you go to reinstall, for whatever reason, the Hewlett-Packard software fucked up, Microsoft Windows Update fucked it up, whatever reason, don't delete it yet. Because you may need to go in here and find the IP address or find the port, or what kind of port was it? Was it TCP/IP port? Was it Bluetooth port? What kind of port? So, and then here's another kind of mini problem. When the Hewlett-Packard OfficeJet A720 software successfully installed, and the printer was detected, and I was able to submit a print test page, and the print test page worked, and there was no more problem with the print queue. Well, it didn't add the printer. So I think what it did, the fucking buffoon, is loud again. I'm going to have to submit another complaint, because I'm not fucking renting another year with this fucking piece of shit that I can hear through 2 walls. That's how loud he is. So I had to add the printer a second time. What I'm thinking is the Hewlett-Packard software install had already noticed that there was that HP OfficeJet. I'm all pissed off now. It already noticed that the 8720 was listed in printers and scanners, so it didn't even add a second one. I had to add a second one, but I think they disappeared. Or I don't know, it's possible you can't add a second one unless you rename the second one. Anyways, but I did know the settings, and I was able to connect, and everything was working. Then I removed the printer from here. But don't remove it if you need the information. Otherwise, you just cost yourself potentially an hour or however long it's going to take you to scramble to find out your network settings or whatever settings you need. So I had to add it manually, and then I was able to get it to stay in this printers and scanners window. And then one other issue, and I need to run because I don't want to make this video too long. And now I'm fucking pissed off because this goddamn fucking schmuck. If I was as loud as he was, I would have been evicted last year, at least a year ago. There is no doubt about that. Hopefully this is the last office I ever rent. Alright, one other caveat. This individual claimed that they could not fax. Well, big problem. So when I went to install the software from, like, as if it was a new install, then I made certain during the installation that I had the client fill in that information. Because how am I going to know what their fax number? How am I going to know what kind of DSL connection they have? Or what kind of connection do they have? Do they have call waiting? I don't know the answers to those questions. I made them fill out all that information, reconfigure the fax settings, but I don't own a landline. So I don't have a phone line, so I couldn't submit a test fax to them. So that's their problem, not mine. But I am saying that when I troubleshoot and when I fix solutions, I am as close to 100% thorough as possible. One other quick tip. Since I did receive this error when I tried to install the software on top of itself, I used my preferred PC optimization tool to clean up junk files and junk registry entries. And that link is in my blog post. So another problem with Hewlett-Packard printers, this is very common. It's very common with Hewlett-Packard. The printers just quit working, and a high percentage of the time, I don't know what the percentages are, but don't overlook the fact that it's the operating system. And especially if you're using Microsoft Windows operating systems, because a lot of times Microsoft Windows 10 updates will fuck up a printer, and if you're a technician like me, my job is to clean up the tornado, the disaster after the fact. My job is I'm the cleanup crew. A tornado just rolled in, and I'm the bitch boy that has to clean up after the tornado. There's body parts laying around, there's fence boards, there's tree limbs, there's the right to travel freely is obstructed, there's trees across the roads. I'm a bitch boy in the world order, and my job is to clean up. So this is one way to clean up printer problems. Adios!